Please welcome to the stage, Daphna Baram. Thank you. Oh wow, I'm the shortest actor. Hi, how are you? You alright? You look terribly suspicious. I'm sorry, and I've not even opened my mouth yet. I've not even started the apologies yet. Hi, I'm Daphna. You can tell by my accent, I'm not from around here. Came down from Walthamstow. Who are the Chingford neighbours? You nearly got rid of him. You nearly got rid of Ian Duncan Smith, and you didn't. Shame on you. Yeah, I know. They tried. They did their best. So yeah, but you can, I normally, I feel really sheepish when I do Palestine gigs. I do a lot of Palestine gigs. I feel sheepish. This is me feeling sheepish. By the way, I know you can't tell. I'm feeling sheepish because I'm from Israel. And normally I apologize a lot for this accent and for everything. Those days are fucking over, guys. I no longer apologize for the accent, only for everything. Because the accent now has been redeemed, right? Have you been on the internet lately? This is the sexiest accent in the world. This is Wonder Woman's accent. Hello. I mean, Gal Gadot and myself, we have a lot in common, don't we? I mean, don't look at the tits, that's not it. But no, we both speak in this slightly obnoxious accent, right? And we were both trained to kill by the same organization, only she went on and made a fancy international career out of it. And for me, it's just a hobby. So yeah, that's me. I mean, it's always a bit, I never know what to talk about when I do gigs about Palestine, whether to talk about the situation or whether to just, do knob gags. That's my occupational hazard. It's just what it is. I know. Yeah, this is going well as I expected. Great. Listen, first row, you've got nothing to worry about. I've had my COVID. I've had my long COVID. I'm twice vaccinated. I'm wearing clean knickers. And I don't pick up on my audience because I'm self-absorbed. So you're safe. How was your COVID? Right. I mean, who had it? Very shy. Yeah. Now you're being sheepish. I had it. I was. I've found a way to, by the way, make it way better. Way better. There are some things that can improve COVID and lockdown and the whole thing. And this is menopause. They hit me together. Highly recommended. You should try it. You too, sir. It's good. I mean, there's a lot to be said against it, obviously. Look at me. But it's tough, and your brain gets fucked, and you're like hot. I mean, but listen, I did not turn the heating on for 2 years now. There you go. I mean, honestly, menopause should be made an Olympic sport because, you swim, you sleep, and you swim, and you produce your own water while you're at it. I mean, every pound that I have saved on heating, I have spent on the washing machine because it does get sweaty. If before that I used to, change my beddings once a week. This is a lie. Say once a month. Now it's once a day. That's a lie. Twice a day. It is. Well, no, it's not. It's not easy. It's not easy getting older. It's not easy getting older. I'll tell you. People just say to your face things that they never dared say to you before, like never. A man I really fancy said to me last month, that's what he said. He said, there's no point in you coming back here until you've lost a stone. Yeah, just like that. And that's not all he said. That's not all he said. He had some more stuff to say. He said, then once you've done that, you can come back here. You can run a few more blood tests, see how your cholesterol is doing. Because my GP is hot. A very attractive, I must say. No, but it's tough. It's also your brain. Oh my God. I mean, I didn't bring my notes on, not because I remember my set, but because I forgot to bring my notes. Because, this is what happens now. I've turned into one of these people. Basically, I've turned into your mum. I'm now this person who goes, have you seen this thing on Netflix? Not Netflix, the other one, the one with, not Kate Winslet, No, it was not even a Kate. It was Robert Downey Jr. That's the one. That's the one. I'm like that. I mean, honestly, last film I've seen before COVID started was that. The thing. Anyway, So I went with my friend Gary, and when the film ended, it was this Tarantino thing, and when the film ended, I wanted to tell my friend Gary, who was with me, I wanted to tell him that, what's his name? Brad Pitt, I've written it. Brad Pitt, I wanted to tell Gary that Brad Pitt was great in that movie, because he was. But for the life of me, I could not remember his name. Now, here's the guy who, I spent the whole 90s thinking, maybe what he likes is fat paralegals in human rights from Jerusalem. Who knows? The weirder things have happened. This is the man who have destroyed the knickers of a generation. This is the man I've just been watching for a whole hour and a half, not to say drooling, and now I cannot remember what the fuck he's called. So, but the worst thing about it was, though, I couldn't confess that to Gary, because Gary is 13 years younger than me. 13, and he already thinks I'm a bit embarrassing to go to places with. So here's what I did, because I'm old, but I'm cunning. You have to be. So I distracted Gary. I gave him what was left of the popcorn. Not our popcorn, obviously, I've eaten it, but the guys, they left already, so and then I pretended to be looking for my shoe, and I was looking for the highlights coming up. Now, this is it's a bit tricky, because they never put the people who are in the film first, right? You have to wait a while. Who the fuck knows who the executive producer is? I don't know, people. So I waited until it came, and then I said to Gary, Brad Pitt, wasn't he great in this movie? And Gary said, no, that was Kate Winslet. This is my life at the moment. So I was really scared of COVID. I don't know how you guys. I was scared, and it's not easy for me to confess something like that. It's not easy. Because I've done some scary shit in my life. I was in the Israeli army, but I was also arrested by the Israeli army. I'm a good guy. I was a lawyer. I was representing Palestinians in military courts in the West Bank and Gaza. I was a journalist. That's fine. Nobody got off. I was a journalist. Nobody ever gets off. I'm not this kind of lawyer, hello. I was a journalist. My newspaper had put a prime minister in prison. Not for human rights violations, for thieving. Nobody ever gets in prison for atrocities, but he shouldn't have stolen this shit. Anyway, I've done, I can see that you're not convinced by my bravery. I have dated Irishmen. I know, not anymore, by the way. This is only the guts of the young. Because, what they say, sure, I'll call you next week. He didn't give me his accent. What he did give me, you don't want. But I've done all sorts of shit. But when COVID came, I was scared. I'll tell you what I was scared of. This is what I'm scared of whenever I'm sick. It doesn't matter what I've got, whether it's like a cold or thrush or what. I always fear that I'm going to die alone in my flat in Walthamstow, and they're only going to find me after I stink. This is what I'm scared of. People are scared of all sorts of shit. This is my one. But with COVID, I really developed this into a Christmas special of CSI. This is what it was like in my imagination. In my imagination, there was a whole squad of people. They were wearing these white space suits, and a helmet, all white, and they were climbing up the stairs to the third floor of my Walthamstow flat, and all the neighbors were peeping out of the holes in their doors. They didn't wanna come up because, but they've always been suspicious what this Jewish girl upstairs is doing, and the squad is coming up, and they kick the door open, and they come into my bedroom, and they find me, and I'm already kind of green and a bit liquid, and my hand is outstretched to the last square of toilet paper, and the main guy, he gets this bin bag out with this white, bright yellow skull on it with 2 bones, and then he brings out the ladle, and he starts basically ladling me into the bag, right? Hey, this is my fantasy, and the rest of the squad, meantime, they're marching around my house. What are they doing? Judging me, right? Because, there's a whole pile of books by my bed, and all of them are crime novels, right? No Judith Butler. I know what I look like, but no, nothing. No Edward Said, crime. And the sex toy from Anne Summers circa 2008, and a bit of a state. And then in the living room, my odd box, full of kale that I have left to rot, right? Do you do odd box? I love London. Everybody in London do odd box. Odd box is when you get to save vegetables that are a little bit too ugly right? You go to the supermarket and you get to rescue them and bring them to your house and kill them there in peace. You just get not to eat them all by yourself. 'Cause this is what I got for myself for my 50th birthday, which I celebrated in captivity. I know, right? That was terrible. I can't believe Fatiha is 40. I always thought she was 23. I always kind of treat her like I'm her mum. Now this is like, we're like sisters now. So this is what I got for myself for my 50th birthday. Because, you know, for your 20th birthday, you get sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And for your 30th birthday, you get sex with people you're not married to and drugs you couldn't afford in your 20s, right? And when you're 40, if you're me, you get a heart attack, start stand-up comedy. And when you're 50, you do favors to courgettes. This is, yeah. Ugly courgettes and 2 prickly pears. This is what I got to do. So yeah, I did get COVID in the end. I did get COVID. It was a bit of rubbish COVID. I mean, it took about a week. I couldn't smell. I couldn't taste. I lost half a stone, hooray. I know. I managed to get into a dress from my 20s, and I was wearing it throughout the whole second season of Broadchurch. Because what else was I going to do, right? What else was I going to do? How am I doing for time? I've done, wow, I have 4 whole minutes to talk to you about being fat. Oh, wow, great. I love it when people laugh at this because this means I look thin or that there are Americans in the room. I never know. Because Americans look at me when they say that and they're like, lady, you're not even fat. What are you talking about, right? We get that. But here in London, there's always a guy in the back of the room who goes, she's fat, all right. Believe you me, this woman, she's heavy. That's what he says. Don't believe this guy either. That's the guy I've had sex with. No, because I know I'm easy on the eye, but I can get quite heavy on the face. But they said I can do filth. That's what they said. No, and I was lighter when you were harder. That's the truth. Because I know what you English people say: sticks and stones can break your bones, but a curvy girl can break you. Right? It's the truth. I mean, I don't really know what you see when you look at me. Maybe you're thinking, I wouldn't mind a piece of that. Maybe you're thinking, lady, don't get any nearer. Fuck's sake. And throughout my life, I was all sorts of sizes. You know, I was massive, and I was nearly skinny, and I was curvy, and I was almost thin, and I was curvaceous, which is the same thing, but with a cleavage. But throughout all that time, from the inside, fucking massive. I mean, you know, it's all butter and chocolate and Kit Kat from within. And when you're like that, it's you sometimes you do all sorts of things to feel a little bit better about yourself. You know, you fall in love, or somebody falls in love with you. You go to the gym, and then you stop. But you never cancel your membership. I've not been in for 2.5 years, but I'm still paying. Or you know, all sorts of stuff like that. But you always know who you are from the inside, and if you don't know, there's always something there to remind you. You know, like for example, I went on a date last week, and I know I downloaded him. The guy was lovely. He was interested, not so much in me, but in what I was doing. And he was like, "So, what is your comedy about nowadays?" And I said, well, it's all about, getting on a bit and being slightly overweight. Because, you know, when you're having dinner with a bloke you're hoping to have breakfast with, you're not going to say, it's all about being old and fat, innit? No. But he got me. He understood exactly what I was saying, because he said, he looked at me, bless him, he said, I don't think you have any business talking about this kind of stuff. I know. I opened my mouth to give him a piece of my mind. I was going to say, how dare you interfere with my art? And I did open my mouth, but what came out was, maybe you're free to marry me on Thursday? This is what it's like when you're fat from within. I'll tell you one more thing. I also went to the co-op. I don't know if you have a co-op where you live. This is the poor man's Tesco. I went with the best intentions. I was only going to get some cherry tomatoes and some skinny milk. But the moment I came in, not 30 seconds I was there, I could feel that something was checking me out from way over there. Something was checking me out. So I looked back because I don't want to be rude. You know, I'm British now. So it was from the fridge. It was looking at me. It was a big tub of ice cream, but not only big, also quality. You know, the one with the nuts and the gooey stuff. So I went over because it would have been rude not to, right? And I opened the fridge and I reached out for that tub of ice cream, but then I could feel that my mother was looking down at me from heaven. which is, of course, bollocks, because my mother, first of all, she's still alive. And also, she's an atheist. She will not go to heaven. She will go to hell, where they play Richard Dawkins on repeat and send you on missions to supermarkets. But there was a vibe, and it was hostile. This is how I knew it was her. So I thought, why don't you go just for the 8 mini magnums? You know the 8 mini magnums? Yeah, of course. This is a sign of an intelligent audience, because they're only just little. So yeah, you can have one a day. And then there's 8 of them, so you can have one a day for a week, and then if somebody comes visit, you can share, right? Of course you can, and then 2 hours later, when all the 8 mini magnums are in here, and the box is in the bin, you don't even have the audacity to be disappointed with yourself, because you were lying to yourself, you knew you were lying to yourself, and still you did. Right, guys, I promise to keep my set here short and tight tonight, and I'm a woman of my word, almost, when it comes to this kind of thing. I'm a Jewish woman. I have never given birth. It doesn't get any tighter than that. Thank you very much. You've been lovely. Daphna Baram!